Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today for tonight's practice. Outside of your yoga mat, we will be using 2 blocks for today's practice. And just to start off with, today is an auspicious day as it's the first day of Ramadan. For those who celebrate, Ramadan Mubarak. For those who don't, Ramadan is the 9th month of the Muslim lunar calendar, where those who follow, they fast as an act of worship, and they pursue actions for those in need. So wish you the best to those who do celebrate. What I thought we could focus on today is a concept called upeksha, and some people I've heard say upeka. This means equanimity. It's a state of mind of even-minded openness that allows for a balanced, clear response to all situations rather than a response of reactivity or emotion. So, as we mark more than a year through this global pandemic, we have all learned how important our mental well being is and other areas that are less important. Upeksha teaches us the practice of non attachment, an important element for yoga, both on and off the mat. So, just keeping that in mind, I will make it to my mat and we can start today's practice. So just coming to a comfortable seated pose, again, legs crossed, or you can do Japanese style, sitting on your knees, and just bringing your palms together, Anjali Mudra, and thinking about what that intention is you want to set for yourself today. Thinking about that balance, how you're going to achieve that equanimity, and just be able to rest for tonight's evening. And again, as we start, let's always connect with the universe first with one chant of the mantra Om. So everyone take a deep inhale. Just releasing the arms down to your sides. Let's start with a deep inhale, bringing the arms up. And on the exhale, bring them down. So just starting to connect with your breath slowly, gently, and mindfully. Exhaling on the way down. You can do this at your own pace. So again, deep inhales on the way up and exhales on the way down. On this next one, let's start with a twist. So just bringing the arms up together, deep inhale. And on the exhale, bring the left arm to the right knee, right arm behind you. Inhaling and lengthening that spine. And on your exhale, gently twist over to the right side, looking out the corner of your right eye. Trying to relax those shoulders, keeping the spine as straight as possible. And again, just focusing on that breath. And release, we'll do the same on the other side. Deep inhale, bringing the arms back up. And on the exhale, bring the right arm over to the left knee, left arm behind you. Again, on the inhale, lengthen that spine. And on the exhale, twist towards the left side, looking out the corner of your left eye. We always do both sides here to balance our body. We can start thinking about equanimity just with the body before we make it to the mind. And deep inhales and lengthen, and exhales and twist. And then gently release back to the front. And here what we can do, if on the, let's take a deep inhale, and if you can, let's interlock your fingers above you. And then on these exhales, let's start and just gently, as if you're scratching the back with an imaginary wall behind you, trying to keep the shoulders relaxed, just in both directions. Just want to start relaxing from the day we all had. I'm sure a lot of us sitting at a computer all day. So we'll work hard to kind of open up our bodies from being in that hunched over state. And then from here, if you can either stay here if this is comfortable, but for a slight challenge, if you want to bring the arms behind you, we can hold it behind you for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then gently just relax, bringing the arms down. And then to bring the blood flow down, let's start with some shoulder rolls. Again, just being aware of your breath intentionally, deep inhales and exhales here. And again, just thinking about balancing the body, making sure we do everything in both directions or on both sides. So reverse if you haven't already. And from here, let's make our way to a tabletop position. And I'm just going to come on the side so you can see the form. So again, shoulders directly on top of your wrists, hips directly on top of your knees. And then what we're going to do here is start with just bringing the feet up behind you and start with some ankle circles. So we're just going to warm up different parts of our body, getting them ready to get into different poses. And then again, just using the poses to get into our body. So once you've done those in both directions, and then let's bring those toes back to the ground, and then just start with some gentle circles with the hips on top of your wrists and then behind. So you can either make some big oval shapes, or some people like to do figure eights, which is just drawing that 8 with your hips. Making sure again to just focus on the breath, deep inhales and exhales here. And I think I've mentioned it once before, so one of the first things as we age to go away is the strength in our fingertips and in our wrists. So just we'll start with a gentle, just however much you can rotate your hips here without forcing it. But it's very good to stretch them out, given, again, the work on a keyboard that's done all day. And just holding it for maybe counts of 5 at your own pace. And then gently turning those wrists back, front, and sitting down into child's pose here. Sitting your sit bone right between your heels and trying to stretch as far out in front of you. Bringing the forehead on the mat if you can. And just from here, take both arms and bring them out to the right side of the mat. Feeling that stretch on the left side of your body. Again, maybe taking 5 deep breaths in and out. Sending that breath wherever in your body you feel that it's needed. And let's take both of those arms out to the left side of your mat. Again, focusing on that stretch on the right side that you feel. And 5 deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then from here, what we're going to do is come back to the tabletop position. And we're going to come into the bear pose. So if you can, just keep your back or spine in a neutral position. You just want to bring your knees 1 or 2 inches off the ground. So this is a very good balancing pose. And like I mentioned, we want to always take care of our hands and our fingertips. So what we're going to do is just with your pinky fingers, start tapping the mat and maybe do 5 taps on both pinkies together. Moving to the ring fingers on both hands, tap the mat together. And I hope you can see it there. Taking the middle finger, tapping the mat with the middle finger 5 times. Moving to the pointer finger 5 times. And to the thumb 5 times. And then just starting again with the thumb 5 times. Moving to the pointer finger. Try to connect the breath here. Moving to the middle finger. Ring finger. And pinky finger. Take just one more deep breath in this bear pose. Deep inhale. And on the exhale, coming up into downward facing dog. So given that this is the first downward facing dog for tonight, you just want to, you can pedal out your heels, push your hips towards that upper back corner of your room. Imagine that inverted V shape. You can try to create that full L-shaped letter with your pointer finger and your thumbs. And then just some deep inhales and exhales here. And from here, let's just slowly walk your feet up to your palms, coming into a forward fold. This will be one of many that we will do in tonight's practice. Forward folds are very good for an evening sequence to wind down. Here you can grab onto your elbows, maybe rock gently your elbows side to side. It's okay if your knees are bent here. Deep inhales and exhales. And then from here, slowly bring the hands to your hips and slowly coming all the way up. So hope you feel pretty warm. We will start with some very basic sun salutation A just to warm our bodies up. So coming to the front of your mat, let's start with palms together in Anjali Mudra. Take a deep inhale, bringing the arms up, slight back bend, and all the way down, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift, and all the way down into plank. Deep inhale, 4 limbs or 8 limbs pose, cobra or up dog, and back up to downward facing dog. Again, taking a few deep breaths in these downward facing dogs. And then from here, forward with the right foot, the left foot, and all the way up. Slight back bend, and palms back together. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Again, just balancing our bodies. Deep inhale. And swan dive all the way down. Halfway lift. And down. Coming into plank pose. Lowering 4 limbs or 8 limbs. All the way back up, downward facing dog. Few deep breaths here, which should get better each time we come here. And then this time, step forward with the left foot, the right foot, and all the way up. Palms back to heart center. So now we'll do some warrior sequences. So I'm going to face this way so that you can see the form. So to the front of your mat, again, palms together, Anjali Mudra. Taking a deep inhale, bringing the arms up. All the way down, swan dive. Halfway lift and down. Coming into plank pose. Here, 4 limbs or 8 limbs pose. Cobra or up dog. Coming up into downward facing dog. So from here, let's bring the inhale and bring your right heel high behind you. Stepping forward with that right foot. Planting that left foot at the 45-degree angle. And again, coming into warrior one. Let's try to relax the shoulder blades. Leaning into that front right leg. It's up to you here if you want to bring the arms out behind you. You can interlock them behind you, whatever feels comfortable. I'm going to go back to warrior one arms. And then from here, let's open up to warrior two. Again, deep breaths here, looking forward on top of that right arm. If you're surfing on an ocean, trying to keep equal balance between the right and left arms. Equanimity. Deep breaths here. And then from here, let's start with side angle pose. So bringing the right elbow on top of the right leg. You can bring that left arm behind you. And again, there's variations here. You can bring both arms in front of you. You can bring one arm down here onto a block. But again, just feeling this pose. You want to feel it in the legs heavy and feel it light on top. So this is moving towards the mind, how it's supposed to feel, upeksha. Heavy and light, both at the same time. You still feel that deep rooting feeling, but at the same time, you can rise above it. So again, breathing into this pose, deep inhale, deep exhale. And from here, we're going to come into goddess pose. So just bringing both arms out, equal weight on both legs, bending those knees. And from here, if you want to bring your arms, your palms together, the backs of them touching each other. So again, really good for an evening flow. The lower you go, the more you're going to challenge yourself. So find that balance, find that edge, and then just soften it. Make sure you're not going too rough on yourself. Use your breath to sink down. Make sure your spine is straight, like you're floating above. And then from here, let's just take a little conditioning here. So let's take your arms out on the inhale, come to the right side, exhale, out. Inhale, left side, exhale, both arms out. Let's do this for 5 breaths in and out. You can do this at your own pace if you like. And one more time, deep inhale and exhale. And from here, let's come back to warrior 2. Like you're surfing on that ocean. And then from here, let's windmill the arms down. So we can finish this vinyasa and take the same on the other side. So again, cobra or up dog, coming back up into downward facing dog. Few deep breaths here. Pushing the hips towards the back corner of the wall. And then from here, bend your knees, look between your palms, step or come to the front of your mat, lifting halfway, all the way down, and rising, reverse swan dive, palms back to center, Samasthiti. So we'll do the same thing on the other side, coming to the front of your mat, palms together, deep inhale, slight back bend, swan dive all the way down, straight legs or soft knees, halfway lift, peek up and down, coming into plank pose, deep inhale, coming down 4 limbs or 8 limbs pose, cobra or up dog, back up, downward facing dog. Again, 5 counts here, deep inhales and exhales. This time, lift that left knee up behind you. Step forward with that left foot coming up into warrior one on the left side. Left knee should be bent. Feet should be on separate railroad tracks. And again, from here, you can play with the arms to see what feels good to you at this time. You can open them up to the sides, like a goalpost, cactus arms. You can interlock them behind you, bringing the shoulders back. Coming back, regular warrior one arms, relaxing the shoulders, opening up to warrior two. Feet on one railroad track, looking in front of you. And again, what we did on the right side, we'll do on the left side. So coming to extended side angle pose, I'm just gonna take a block with me here. So bringing the left elbow on the left knee, arm in front of you, on top of you. You can feel that straight line from your right heel all the way through the right tip of your fingertips. You can also play around with the gaze. That also changes the energy of the pose. If you look up, it's more opening. If you look down, looking more inwards. Again, feeling deep breaths here. You can hold onto a block underneath. You can keep both arms out to the front. Whatever is comfortable for you. And just focusing on the breath. You take 5 breaths in this pose, deep inhales and exhales. And then on this next inhale, on the exhale, coming into goddess pose again. So to this neutral position. Again, toes and knees facing outwards at that 45-degree angle. Arms to a neutral position. And again, taking those same inhales and exhales on both sides. So deep inhale to the right. Exhale and open. Deep inhale to the left. And open at your own pace. 5 breaths on each side. It should feel again heavy on the legs, light on the spine and the arms. Again, how do we balance that? How do we balance all the crazy things that are happening in the world right now? And ourselves, what's going on in our own day-to-day? And from here, coming back into warrior two on the left side. And from here, windmilling the arms back to the ground and finishing this flow. Coming into plank, taking a deep inhale, lowering down 4 limbs or 8 limbs pose. Cobra or up dog. Back up to downward facing dog. Taking 5 deep breaths here. Imagining that inverted V shape. This should feel better. We've been here many times already. Try to separate those fingertips and relax. And from here, bend your knees, look between your palms, and walk or jump to the front of your mat. Coming to a halfway lift, all the way down, and arms all the way up. Reverse swan dive, slight back bend, and back to heart center. Samasthiti. So we'll do a similar sequence again with just a slight variation. Again, another warrior sequence. So starting on the right side again, taking a deep inhale, slight back bend, swan dive all the way down, coming to a halfway lift and down, right leg back into plank, left leg, deep inhale here, 4 limbs or 8 limbs pose, cobra or up dog, back up, again, downward facing dog. You know the drill, will be here, 5 breaths, inhales and exhales. And from here, let's inhale, bring the right leg up behind you, step forward again into warrior 1, bringing the arms up, relaxing the shoulder blades. I'm going to take cactus arms here, bringing them behind me. You do what your body needs. Again, we do not use our bodies to get into the yoga poses, but we use these poses to get into our bodies. It's what we need at this time. And again, opening up here to warrior 2. Try to feel that balance on both sides here. Feet should be on one railroad track. Feeling heavy on the legs, light on your upper body, finding your own equanimity. And from here, let's straighten that front leg, and we'll take triangle pose next. So just leaning forward with the right arm and bringing that down, and bringing the left arm up on top of you. Again, the gaze can be upwards, can also be downwards. You can use the block or not use the block, that's up to you. Again, deep breaths here. And from here, we're going to come back to the goddess pose. So equal weight on both legs, facing outwards, except this time, instead of putting the palms together, let's try and hold this block. So pushing with your hands, the block together. And this time on your inhales, lift your heels up. It's always good to stretch out the feet as well, something we don't do very often. And on the exhales, bring them down. So again, at your own pace, at least 5 breaths up and down. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And again, you can always deepen this pose by coming more down an inch at a time. It's up to you. One more time, deep inhale and exhale. And gently put the block down, coming back into warrior 2. And from here, windmilling back down, we'll finish this flow before we take it on the other side. So taking a deep inhale, lowering down to the mat, cobra or up dog, back up, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths here. Bend your knees, look between your hands, walk or step forward, coming to a halfway lift, all the way down, and bringing the arms up, reverse swan dive, slight back bend, palms back to heart center. So we'll take the same sequence on the left side, finding your balance here to the front of your mat, taking a deep inhale, bringing the arms up, and all the way down. Inhale to a halfway lift, and down, coming into plank pose, taking a deep inhale, and down, and back to downward facing dog. Again, 5 deep breaths. You can wag your tail here in this downward dog, whatever you need at this time. And this time we're on the left side, so take a deep inhale, bringing the left leg up behind you, stepping forward with that left leg, coming into warrior 1. Again, relaxing those shoulder blades, try to keep that spine straight. You can keep the arms here, open them up into cactus arms. Taking 5 deep breaths in this pose. I'm going to bring the arms back up here, taking a deep inhale, and on the exhale, coming into warrior 2. Again, you can deepen this pose, coming lower, find that balance. Deep breaths here. And then from here, we're going to come into triangle pose. So again, from warrior 2, just straighten that front leg, lean forward with the left arm, and bring the left arm down, the right arm up on top, like you're being pulled again in both directions. But imagine you trying to find that balance. A lot of people associate this concept with indifference. But by finding that balance, it's not that you're indifferent, it's just that you want to take care of yourself. So me personally, I don't watch the news in the evenings. And it's not because I don't care about what's going on in the world, but it's because I know that I need that balance to be able to fall asleep. I can't have the tension of the whole world, what's going on top of me. Just one way to think about it. Deep inhales and exhales here. And then here, take a deep inhale. And on that exhale, coming to goddess pose again. So equal weight on both sides. Bringing that block to the center, pushing your hands in towards that block. Again, coming as deep as you can. And then from here on your inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale and release. Let's take 5 again at your own pace. Deep inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. And last time, inhale, exhale. Just put the block down, coming back into warrior 2. And from here, windmilling the arms down, back to plank pose, taking a deep inhale. On the exhale, coming down, 4 limbs or 8 limbs pose. And back to downward facing dog. Again, 5 deep breaths. You should feel very relaxing now. Impel out the heels. From here, bend your knees, look between your palms. Step forward, coming to a halfway lift, and down, and all the way up. Back to heart center. Okay. So we'll do one more flow that has a few more asanas in it, including pigeon, which will be really good to open up our hips. So I'm going to move back a little so you can see the arms. So coming to the front of your mat, palms together. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift and down into plank. Again, 4 limbs or 8 limbs pose. Or up dog, coming back up, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. So from here, let's bring the right heel high behind you. And on the exhale, bring that right knee to the right front corner of the mat. Coming into this half pigeon pose. And from here, you want to inhale and lengthen that spine. And on the exhale, just fold forward as far as it is comfortable for you. So you can even bring the fingertips out in front of you, making this a very active stretch. This is very good to open up the hips and the groin. And then if comfortable, you can come all the way down onto your mat, maybe even using your hands as a pillow. We want to get ourselves as open as possible so we can have a good night's rest from all the hunching and over that we've been doing during the day. And from here, take a deep inhale and bring yourself back up. And then on the exhale, let's bring that left leg, snake it around, and bring it across your right leg. So we're just going to go into a seated spinal twist here. So if you can make sure that you're on both of your sit bones. And we'll take a deep inhale, bring the right arm up. And on the exhale, hug that left knee and twist towards the left side. Again, looking behind you, trying to keep the shoulder blades relaxed, the spine lengthened. And then from here, gently release. And we want to take cow pose, cow face pose next. So gently you want to bring both knees on top of each other. So keeping that left knee, trying to bring it directly above the right knee, trying to make sure both, again, of these sit bones are kind of equally distributed here. You can hold on to your feet here. And again, just inhaling and lengthening that spine. And if this is comfortable, you can stay here, or on the exhale, again, you can bring the arms out in front of you, trying to lower down, but in a way where your spine can stay straight. Again, this is also very good for hip and groin opening. It's good for your knees, actually. I know this could be difficult. Not everyone can put their knees on each other, but it's definitely helpful for those knees. And then from here, you want to slowly release from this pose. Slowly bringing that left knee behind you. We can come into a tabletop from here. Back up to a downward facing dog. And then from here, finishing this flow, so just bending your knees, looking between your palms, stepping forward, coming to a halfway lift and down, and reverse swan dive, and back to heart center. So we'll do the same thing on the left side. Again, palms together, Anjali Mudra, deep inhale, swan dive all the way down, halfway up, all the way down. This time left leg back, right leg, deep inhale, coming down, inhale, cobra or up dog, back up, downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths here. This time with the left leg, deep inhale, bringing the left heel high behind you, coming into pigeon on the left side, so left knee towards the front left corner of the mat. Here, taking a deep inhale, lengthening that spine, and then on the exhale, coming forward wherever is comfortable. Again, it could be an active stretch, just staying on your fingertips in front of you, or you could make it more restorative and relaxing if you can make it all the way down using your hands as a pillow. From here, let's inhale and come back up. And then on this exhale, this time bringing the right leg, slowly snaking this around. Into this spinal twist again. So let's bring the left arm up on your inhale. On the exhale, you want to hug that right knee, again, twisting over to that right side. Inhale and lengthen that spine. Exhale and twist back. From here, back to that cow face pose on the other side. So slowly bringing that right knee directly above that left knee. Trying to find the balance of sitting between those heels on both sit bones. Again, taking a deep inhale and lengthening that spine. And on the exhale, folding forward if it's comfortable for you. So like the example I gave of me not watching the news at night, it's also the way that you think about things. So a lot of times we keep hearing of all these bad things happening, and some people, they don't call it a bad thing, they just call it that this is what happened. And some people blame it on luck. Some people just say this is what happened. And they realize that it's really this state of mind that can help you control how you're feeling. So just an interesting way to look at things. So from here, again, slowly you want to release from this pose, bringing the right knee behind you, coming slowly into a tabletop position. From here, back into downward facing dog. A few deep breaths here. And then again, bend the knees, look between your palms, and walk or jump to the front of the mat. Coming to a halfway lift, all the way down, and then all the way up. And palms back to heart center and down to your sides. So we're going to go into on the floor, some poses here. We're going to start with your legs directly out in front of you. And we'll start with the Baddha Konasana, so the butterfly pose. So just gently bring your both feet together in front of you. And then to the best of your ability, keeping your spine straight, you want to lower your knees to both sides of the ground. So you can keep your palms here on your knees, gently pressing them down. You can keep your palms in front of you on the tops of your feet. But again, focusing on keeping that spine straight, taking a deep inhale, and on the exhale, you can fold forward. So again, just opening up the hips and growing here. This should feel really good. And just some deep breaths in and out through the nose. On your next inhale, gently come back up to neutral. Just a little side to side here. This is what I need right now. And instead of doing tree pose standing up, so we're going to do, just a head to knee pose. So if you want to leave the right knee bent, let's just bring this left knee up and then slowly straighten that left knee in front of you. So the right sole of your foot, again, can be between your knee and just on the thigh. So here, let's take a deep inhale with the arms, and on the exhale, you want to fold forward. So again, these forward folds are very good for winding down in this evening practice, really setting you up to get some very good rest. And so here we can work hard to bring our forehead as close to the knee as possible, but again, as comfortable. You can keep your hands on your ankle. If you want, around your foot. If this is not available, you can always use a strap or a towel to bring you closer to your knee. But again, you can always use your breath to bring you down on every exhale, moving a little bit closer to that knee. This is good for the spine, the groin, the hips, the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, again, coming back up. And on the exhale, bringing that left leg in and the right leg out. Again, so just the sole of the foot should be between the groin and the knee. So we'll take the same pose, deep inhale, and exhale and fold forward, wherever is comfortable for you. You can even give your foot a gentle massage. I know we all would want one right now, but even you know what's the best, where's comfortable. And then in lieu of these forward folds, really helping us to wind down. So let's bring both legs forward and coming into Paschimottanasana, which is a forward fold with both legs here. So let's take a deep inhale with the arms, and on the exhale, folding forward with both. So here you can take your pointer and middle finger and bring them around the big toes if that's comfortable. You can bring the hands again around the feet, whatever feels good to you. You should feel this a lot on your hamstrings. And then on the next inhale, let's release and come back up to neutral. And with your exhale, what we're going to do to counter these poses is we're going to take a half hero pose. So it's called Ardha Virasana. And we'll take this right knee, and to the best of your ability, we want to put it in front of you where both knees are close to each other, and then the front of the foot should be facing downwards. So both knees together, the front of the knee down behind you, and again, we'll take this both forward and backward. So again, just taking a deep inhale here, Again with a forward fold. So you will feel this on that left hamstring or quad. You should feel it on the ankles. You should feel it on the thighs. A few deep breaths here, and then we'll take it backwards and recline. On the next inhale, let's come back up to center. And then on the exhale, like I said, we're gonna go backwards, starting with your elbows. So just if you can, if this is comfortable, again, you can stay in that neutral position, keeping your knees together. You can stay on your elbows. And then if it's in your practice, you can come all the way down, bringing your arms out to the side of you slowly. And if you're there, you can bring the arms out behind you, feeling a deep body stretch. You can even interlace your hands. You can grab onto the elbows, whatever's comfortable for you. But again, just trying to keep those knees together. Some people get cramps in this pose in the feet, so if that happens, feel free to get out of this pose, massage your feet, and you can come back to it. A lot of people find this very relaxing. And some even find it easier than sitting cross-legged. And it's very important how we slowly went into this pose, that we also slowly come out of it. So again, just slowly coming onto your elbows from here. And then when you're ready to come all the way up. So we just want to lift that right hip, bring the right foot in front of you, and we'll switch with the left foot here. So just bringing this again. So both knees are together. You want to make sure that left front of the foot is facing down towards the mat. Try to sit on those equally on both sides, the sit bones. And when you're ready, deep inhale. Exhale and come into that forward fold. Ardha Virasana. Your next inhale, coming back up to that neutral spine. And on the exhale, again, if comfortable, you can come back onto your elbows. And then again, you can either stay here, or if it's in your practice, coming all the way down onto your back. And I like to bring my arms behind me. And I like to grab onto the elbows and just relax here. One side may be more comfortable or less comfortable than the other. So just sending that breath to whichever part of the body that needs it. And again, just like me, went slowly down. You want to slowly come up here. And then bring both feet out in front of you. You can shake the legs out, do whatever feels comfortable here. And then maybe let's send the feet behind us, coming into the tabletop position. Wagging that tail behind you, right and left. And to counter these downward facing dogs that we did, let's come into puppy pose. So from here, just walking your arms out in front of you, trying to keep the hips directly above your knees. Coming into this puppy pose, stretching out. Deep breaths here, deep inhale and exhale. And then from here, back to that tabletop position. Wagging that tail if needed. And then sitting back into child's pose. Walking the arms out in front of you, trying to get that forehead on the mat. You can gently massage, give yourself a slight massage here if that's comfortable. A few deep breaths. And from here, let's actually come and make it down onto our backs. So we're going to start with a figure 4 position. So just bringing the right knee up and placing that right heel onto that left knee. So we can push that right knee out to the side. And then when you're ready, grab onto that left thigh and bring it forward. You can do this also at the same time, pushing your right knee out to the side and bringing that left thigh towards you. And just taking some maybe ankle circles here if this is comfortable. Again, remembering we're trying to wind down our bodies for some good sleep tonight. Making sure you take these circles in both directions. And gently release. We'll do the same on the other side. So bringing the left ankle on top of that right thigh. Again, you can push that left thigh forward, feeling this stretch, opening your hips and groin. And then when you're ready, grabbing on again to this right thigh and releasing your fingers, bringing that right thigh forward. You can again push that left leg out to the side at the same time. And then if comfortable, taking some circles with the ankle in both directions. Remembering always to just focus on your breath. And then from here, gently release and bring both knees into the center, giving yourself a hug and rock from side to side. You can also here gently rock forward and backwards to get a good massage of the spine. And then from here, let's grab onto those big toes with both fingers and come into happy baby pose. So the knees here can be bent. If it's comfortable for you, you can straighten the legs. I like them bent. Again, just winding down, bringing the heart rate down. Thinking about, how do you think about things? Do you usually look at the positives? Do you usually look at the negatives? Is there a way to think about it where you don't get so impacted? It's not that you don't care. It's just, how can you think about things where you will feel it, but you won't get shaken up by it? So from here, let's bring the arms out to the sides, and we're going to do some windshield washers. So just bringing the right sole of the foot to the left thigh, holding it there, and then gently switching so you have the left sole touching the right thigh. So focusing on the breath here, deep inhales and exhales at your own pace. You can try to do 5 on each side. And then from here, we'll continue with just some opening twists. So let's bring the right leg up and bring it overneath the left foot. So almost imagine eagle legs. If you want, you can wrap it again if it's in your practice. Otherwise, it can just be right knee over left knee. And from there, keeping the arms out to the side, just gently twisting over to that left side, looking over to the right. Should definitely feel this on that lower body, the hips. Deep inhales and exhales. And then on the next inhale, coming back up to center, gently opening that right leg. And then let's switch sides again, trying to become balanced. Left knee over the right, interlacing those legs if you can, and then taking them over to the right side, looking over to the left. And then on the next inhale, coming back to center, opening up those legs, straightening them in front of you. And this time, just a regular supine twist, bringing the right knee in towards you. Again, maybe some circles with the ankles. And then bringing that right knee over to the left side, right arm out, looking towards it. Trying to keep that left leg straight in front of you. And again, just breathing into the pose. Breathe into anywhere in your body that you feel still needs it. If there's anywhere that's still tense, the more open your body, the better rest you'll get tonight. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, so we can again balance both sides. So bring the left knee in towards you, and then bringing that over to the right side, pushing it down, left arm out to the side, looking towards it. And again, just 5 deep breaths here, in and out. And then back to center. And then just before Shavasana, let's bring the arms behind you and take one last deep final stretch. Take a deep inhale and let it all out. Exhale through the mouth. Bring the palms out to the sides of you. Bringing the feet towards the corner of the mat. Heels out. Heels in, toes out. Palms facing up. And just relax in Shavasana. Take everything in and rest. And from here, you can slowly wiggle your toes and fingertips. And then you can turn onto the right side into that fetal position. Deep inhales and exhales here. And then when you're ready, use one arm to bring you back up to seated, where we started. Again, into this Indian or Japanese style. So I hope you all were really able to feel this class in a heavy way, but in a light way where you can rise above it. With each day that we have, let's try not to overanalyze it, but to actually experience it and absorb it and float above it and learn from it each day. So when we cultivate equanimity, we are still moved by injustice in the world and motivated to make things better. But our deeper inner serenity or peace is not disturbed by those things. So we can say we can be stirred but not shaken. So the light within me honors the light within you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. And just like we started, let's connect with the universe to separate this time from the rest of our days. So again, just taking a deep inhale. Namaste.